Welcome to Liberation Day 2025. So today, Sunday, May 25th, 2025, Africans in Africa and across the diaspora are coming together in a big celebration to celebrate Africa. Africa for Africans. Africans in the diaspora will be joining our brothers and sisters on the continent of Africa to have this big celebration in the streets of Kingston, Jamaica. Celebration in the streets of Bridgetown, Barbados. Celebration in the streets of Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. Celebration in the streets of Kingstown, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Celebration. This is a big celebration to show the world that look, Africa is ready to take back their own resources. This is a message to people like the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, that look, we don't need your charity. Africans are not looking for reparation. Africans are looking for restoration. You have overstayed your time and now it's time to go. We need our diamonds. We need our golds. We need our precious metals. We can take it from here. We can manage our own resources. So, Africa for Africans.
What's ahead for Bob Marley, do you know? Do you have an agenda or a master plan?
Well, I feel ahead for I and I is the unity of Africa. And then when the unity of Africa comes, then people will really understand, say, you know, there was something in this thing. There is something in it.
Do you think of yourself more as an African than a Jamaican?
Yeah, because one of the main things is that we're Rasta. From you accept Rasta, you become an Ethiopian, which is Africa. Next thing again, the history of Jamaica shows that the Arawak Indian was living there, and it belonged to the Arawak Indian. Now, our history shows that through slave business, black people come out of the Western thing, you know? So we still figure, say, Africa is...
So this celebration across Africa and across the diaspora is to inspire, is to motivate our young people and to show them our history. Look, Africa was not always underdeveloped. Africa was not always poor. How can we be the richest continent in terms of natural resources but still be so poor? Before the colonizers came in and stole all of our natural resources, we were self-sufficient.
Here, in the country of the upright man, is a dream come true. To President Traore, the reincarnation of Thomas Sankara President Traore, who has led the struggle to complete the unfinished business that was started by our ancestors and our Pan-African leaders in 1963 when they created the Organization of African Unity. During that meeting, they demanded the creation of an Africa that spoke with one voice, an Africa that was united. That journey is yet to be finished. What is happening in Burkina Faso, in Mali, in Niger, is just the beginning of a revolution that is way past due for Africa. Africa must unite. And Burkina Faso has shown us the way. They have opened the doors. They have shown us that the bully can be defeated. That no more shall we continue to give up our lunch. That we too need to eat. And therefore, there is no negotiating with the bully. The bully had to go, and Burkina Faso showed us how to do it. So, Mr. President, I bring you Your children, descendants of the formerly enslaved, they have waited over 400 years to return the spirits of their ancestors back home to Africa. When the children of Africa were taken out of Africa as slaves, all they ever wanted to do was to come back home to Africa. Each and every one of them that you see, many of them are coming to Africa for the first time. They're bringing with them the spirits of their ancestors to put them to rest here in Burkina Faso. And that's mission number one. Mission number two, we have watched you, Mr. President. You stand for everything that we have hoped for in an African man. Courageous, fearless, and in their faces. France, unapologetically, you told France, pack your bags and go home.
So if you wake up today, Sunday morning, and you're like, I cannot find any Liberation Day celebration going on in my city. I'm going to work. I don't know what to do. I want to be a part of this, but I can't be because I have to work, or there's no celebration going on close to me. We can celebrate online. Look for images of celebration going on wherever you are, or any celebration that is going on online about uniting Africa. Share it with a friend. Share it with a friend. We are not only encouraging people to celebrate in person in big groups of gatherings, but we are also encouraging people to celebrate online. We have this internet that we can use to empower our people, to reach our people across the world. So let's use this internet for good and share the celebration across the world so that the world can know that, look, Africa is finally going to unite.
The mission is to encourage my brothers and wake up the African peoples to unify our continent, Africa.
Well, we need to work to decolonize the mindsets, to overthrow the regime in Upper Volta. It might not be necessary to bring in heavily armed mercenaries. It is simply enough to prohibit the import of champagne or lipstick, I don't know, or nail polish. That's enough to overthrow us. Because the petty bourgeoisie today is convinced that they cannot do without these products. Well, we need to work to decolonize the mindsets. We are working to recondition our people to accept living as they are, not to be ashamed of their realities, to be content with them, and even to take pride in them. It's fine if others live like that, but it's normal for us to live differently.
L'indépendance, aujourd'hui victorieux, je vous salue au nom du gouvernement congolais. À vous tous, mes amis, qui avez lutté sans relâche à nos côtés, je vous demande de faire de ce 30 juin 1960 une date illustre que vous garderez ineffaçablement gravée dans vos cœurs, une date dont vous enseignerez avec fierté la signification à vos enfants, pour que ceux-ci, à leur tour, fassent connaître à leurs fils et à leurs petits-fils l'histoire glorieuse de notre lutte pour la liberté.
One of the things I want people to take away from this, people that are watching, is that this is a momentous occasion. This is something that we have not seen in our lifetime. This whole liberation movement, this coming together of Africa, of African leaders in Africa and in the diaspora. This is a moment in time. This is the dream of Marcus Garvey. This is the dream of Haile Selassie. This is the dream of Muammar Gaddafi. And I know sometimes the media will paint a picture that these leaders, these liberation leaders from in the past, like they were violent people and they wanted to be dictators, and that could not be further from the truth. Muammar Gaddafi, all Muammar Gaddafi wanted to do was to build Africa the same way Europe is built today. Muammar Gaddafi wanted a united state of Africa, one currency in Africa, one central bank, the same thing that is in Europe. That is what Muammar Gaddafi wanted in Africa. Marcus Garvey wanted Africa to be developed. For in one of Marcus Garvey's statements, Marcus Garvey stated that, look, I am not looking for all Africans to go back to Africa. I'm just looking for enough to go back and to help to develop Africa for Africans in the diaspora. And that was Marcus Garvey's dream. Haile Selassie did not want war. Haile Selassie wanted peace. Haile Selassie, in one of the last speeches that he did at the UN, when he said, until the philosophies that hold one race superior than another, every day there'll be war. That is what Haile Selassie said. Haile Selassie said, look, all we want is equality. And until equality is achieved across the world, there will always be war. Haile Selassie never wanted violence or revenge. And so this is important that for people in the diaspora that have been fed all of this misinformation that these African leaders in the past wanted to be dictators and they wanted to take the money in Africa for themselves, that could be not further from the truth. So guys, I hope you have a good, Liberation Day celebration. And I think this is something that we are going to keep in our memory for a long time, because I have this feeling that this is going to be the biggest celebration that Africa and the diaspora have ever celebrated together. One day, May 25th, 2025, mark that day. This is going to be the day that you're going to be telling your grandkids about years to come. So guys, sound off in the comment section and let me know, how did you celebrate your Liberation Day? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.